Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I jumped from lesson 11 to lesson 13 for you guys. I think I was able to skip lesson 12 and just kind of explain the concept to you guys in this lesson. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So in lesson 11, we were multiplying numbers with decimals. Okay, so now we're going to set the foundation to start dividing numbers with decimals. But before we do that, we need to learn and know how to master dividing multi-digit numbers by another multi-digit number. Okay, and I'm going to show you how that looks like and a couple strategies that you can use to help you with that. Okay, so please follow along with some notes. Okay, try some of these examples as I'm talking through them. Okay, and we'll get through the problem sets as well. So today's objective tells us I can understand that the standard algorithm of division is simply a tally system arranged in place value columns. Okay, so place value, which are the ones, the tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and millions, 100 millions, and trillions, are going to play a big role um, when we're dividing multi-digit numbers. Okay, so let's look at example one. Example one says 70,072 divided by 19. So right off the bat, this problem looks pretty difficult. Okay, it's a pretty big number divided by a two-digit number, and we're not really used to that. Okay, so I'm going to show you some strategies that can help you. One strategy is to estimate. Okay, so we're going to estimate the answer, okay, by making it easier on ourselves and rounding each number. Okay, so looking at 70,072. If I were to round that to the nearest thousand or the nearest 10,000, this would be 70,000. And if I were to round 19, that would round to 20. And now I have an easier division problem, and it's going to give me an idea of where I'm at when I actually do the real math. Okay, so 20 goes into 70 three times, that's 60. We have 10 left over, and we bring down the zero. 20 goes into 100 five times, and all we have left are these two zeros. Okay, so our estimation is 3,500. Okay, so that's our estimation. That's our ballpark number that's going to help us do this problem. Okay, so I'm just going to put our estimation in this corner just so we know it. Okay, now another uh, another strategy that you can use, okay, if you're not a big fan of estimating first, okay, is skip counting by the divisor. Okay, the divisor is the number that's going into the dividend, okay, that's going into the number that's being divided, okay. So what you can do is make a little table or just write down the multiples of your divisor. In this case, we have 19. So I'm going to make a list or a little table of the divisors. Okay, so 1 times 9 is 19, 2 times 19 is 38. And from here on, all you're doing is adding 20 and taking 1 away since it's 19. Okay, so 3 times 19 is 57. 4 times 19 is 76. 5 times 19 is 95. 6 times 19 equals 114. 7 times 19 equals 133. 8 times 19 equals 152. And 9 times 19 equals 171. Okay, so we have all our multiples. Okay, these are going to help us with this division problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so 19 can't go into 7, so we have to start with 70. So 19 goes into 70 three times, okay, because 4 would be too many. So 3 times 19 is 57. We subtract that, and we get 13. Okay, Bring down the next 0. 19 goes into 130 6 times. We subtract 114 from 130, and we get 16. And we have to bring down the next number, which is 167. 19 goes into 167, as we see on our table, 8 times. That is 152. We subtract that, and we get 15. We bring down the last number, and the last number is 2. Again, we get 152, which we know goes in evenly 8 times. We subtract, and when we get 0, we know we have no remainders. So our answer comes out to 3,688. Okay, so now what we did, we turned the problem that off the bat looks pretty difficult, and we broke it up into different pieces and made it a lot easier. Okay, there's 2 different strategies that you can use for these types of problems. One is to estimate, okay, and to round each number, the dividend and the divisor, okay, and then find a ballpark number. Okay, our estimation was 3,500, which was pretty close to 3,688, and and it just kind of gives us an idea. Okay, if you are struggling with the problem, off to the side, do the multiples. Okay, 19, 38, 57, 76, and so on. Those will help you, okay, when you're actually doing the division problem. Okay, so let's look at example 2. Example 2 gives us 14,175 divided by 315. And the bottom question is asking us, what is the difference with this expression? And it wants us to estimate first. So what's the difference here? Well, the difference is that our divisor is now in the hundreds place. Okay? Our divisor is now in the hundreds place. Okay? So that makes it pretty difficult on us. Okay? So, again, our first strategy, we can estimate. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and round 14,175 to 15,000. Okay, normally I would round that to 14,000, but since 300 wouldn't go into 400 or 1,400 or 14,000 evenly, okay, it's going to make it easier on ourselves. Okay, so obviously we know 300 goes into 1,500 5 times, and we have 1 0 left over. So 50 is going to be our estimated guess. 50 is going to be our estimation. Okay, so in the corner, I'm going to write a 50, and that's going to be our estimation. Now we're actually going to do the math. Okay, so 315 goes into 1,417. How many times do you guys think? Well, it's not 1,500, okay? It's 1,400. So I'm thinking it's going to be 4 times. So I'm going to have to do the math off to the side. Okay, this is 20, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, so it is 4 times. We subtract 1,260 from 1,417, and we get 157. Then we bring down the 5. Okay, we look at that. Now I think that would go in 5 times. Okay, so this would be 25, 5, 7, and 15. And look at there. It goes in evenly 5 times. We subtract this, and we end up with a 0. And we know we have no remainders. So our answer comes out to 45. Okay, our estimation was 50, so we came really close to our estimation. Okay, that estimation gave us a really good idea of where we were at. All right, guys, I'm going to go through a couple of these exercises, and then I'm going to let you guys go on your own. Okay, so Let's look at exercise 1. We have 48,692 divided by 78. Okay, pause the video. All right, see if you guys can try this one on your own. Okay, and then press play when you're done so you can check your work. Okay, the first thing you want to do is estimate. So this estimation problem would be 480,000 divided by 80. Okay, and that's going to be 6,000. So our estimation number, okay, is 6,000. Now, try to do the math on your own. Pause the video, and I will go over it when you are done. Okay, so you should have paused the video. And let's go ahead and start the math, okay? 78 can't go into 48, so we have to start with 484. Okay, we look at this, and our estimation was 6. So let's try 78 times 6. This is 48, 42, 46. So we are pretty close. So it is 6 times. We subtract 468 from, actually I'm going to use a different color so it's a little better. We subtract 468 from 484. Borrow here, this is 6 and 1. We're left with 16. Then we bring down the next 6. We look at that, 78 goes into 166. It's going to have to be twice because 70 times 2 is 140, and 70 times 3 is 210, so that's going to be too much. So it's going to have to be 2. This is 16, 14, 15, so again, we are pretty close, just 10 off. We subtract this, we have 10 left over. Then we bring down the 9. Okay, 78 goes into 109 once. We subtract this, and we get 31. And we bring down the last number all the way down to the bottom. 78 goes into 312. How many times do you guys think? Okay, 70 times 4 would be 280. 70 times 5 would be 350. Okay, so let's try 78 times 4. I'm going to do it up here. 78 times 4 is 32. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 3 is 31. And look at that. It goes into it evenly 4 times. And we subtract. We get a 0, so no remainders. And our answer comes out to 6,214. Okay? And guys, it is a really good idea to do these multiplication problems off to the side when you're dividing, because you never know when you're going to need them again in the same problem. And I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, so number 2 gives us 280,000, okay, 81,886 divided by 33. Okay, so we can estimate this real quick. This would be 280,000 divided by 30. I do not think it's going to go in evenly, but let's try anyways. Okay, 30 goes into 289 times. Okay, that's 270. We have 10 left over, and 30 goes into 100 3 times. That's 90. We have 10 left over. Bring down the next 0, 3. It's going to keep on going forever. So let's say our estimation is 9,333. Okay, so that is our estimation. That is our estimated number. Okay, so hopefully our answer is somewhat in that ballpark. And after we do the math, okay, so we have 281,886 divided by 33. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So 33 can't go into 280, or it can't go into 2, it can't go into 28, but it can go into 281. And looking at our estimations, either going to be 9 or 8. Okay, so let's try 8 first. 33 times 8 is 24. 24 again, and 26. 33 is going to go over 290, so that 9 would be too much, so it is 8. We subtract 264 from 281. We have to borrow here. We get 7 and 1, 17. Then we bring down the next number. And another trick that you can use, look at the first number and the first couple numbers here. How many times does 3 go into 17? Well, 3 times 5 is 15. So let's try 33 times 5. That's 15, 15, 16. We get 165. Okay? And that gives us 13 left over. Bring down the next 8. Okay, we have 33. How many times can 33 go into 138? Try 30 times 4, which is 120. So let's try 33 times 4. That's 12, 12 again, and 3. So we get 132. We subtract that from 138, and we get 6. Bring down the last number, which is also a 6, and 33 goes into 66 twice. Okay, and that is my answer. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go on your own. I'm gonna do number 1 and number 2 on the problem set, okay, with you, and then I'm gonna let you guys do 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 on your own and get that turned in. You have all weekend to do this, so please take your time, work it out on a scratch piece of paper, and if you don't have room on this, okay, and just take a picture and turn it in as well with this problem set. Okay, so number 1 gives us 1,634 divided by 19. Okay, so I'm going to do the math real quick. I have 1,634 divided by 19. Okay, so 19 can't go into 1. It can't go into 16, but it can go into 163. But we need to figure out how many times. Okay, so let's think about it. If this was a 20 and that was 160, okay, that would be 8 times. Okay, so let's try 19 times 8. That is 72. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15. So it's 152. 9 times would be too much. We subtract that from 163, and we get 11, and we bring down the 4. Now, how many times does 19 go into 114? Well, if that was 100, or if that was 120, and 19 was 20, that would be 6. So let's try 19 times 6. That is 54. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. Okay, so look at that. Sorry, this is supposed to be a 4, not a 6. 9 times 6 is 54. So look at that. We get it evenly, and our answer comes out to 86. Okay? Number 2 is really easy, especially if you know how to deal with money and in specific quarters. Okay? So 2,450 divided by 25. Okay? So technically, how many quarters are in 245 cents or $2.45? Okay? Because we have to start with this number here. Okay? 25 times 10 would be 250. So 25 times 9, okay, 18, is 225. And that is what we're going to use. We subtract that, and we have 20. Then we're going to bring down the 0. 25 can go into 200. How many times? Well, 4 quarters is 100. So add 4 more to that, and that's 8. 8 times 25 is 200, and that comes out to our answer. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Go back and rewatch the video if you need to, okay? And use the 2 techniques if you are stuck, okay? You can round to give you a ballpark idea of where you're at, and you can also skip count by the divisor. Okay, so if you get stuck on any of these, use those techniques. Rewatch the video if you're confused. You have all weekend to do these 6 problems that I will send you on Google Classroom. Okay, have a great weekend, and we will see you on Friday or on Monday.